for the film called Prometheus. The film called Prometheus. Prometheus! Prometheus! Engineers seed planet, teach humans well. Humans turn face, eventually rebel. Engineers send emissary, last chance to survive. Humans crucify him, now must die. Engineers seek punishment, at least they try. Wiped out by a weapon, humanity left alive. For 2,000 years they prosper and learn, build spaceships and robots but frequently yearn. Origin of creation, beginning of human race. We'll soon find message that send them to space. This is the song for the film called Prometheus. The film called Prometheus. 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 Humans discover engineer cave paintings. All give directions to base. Base house destructive powers in temple with face. Rich man want eternal life, but he very old. Awakens engineer and wish secrets told. Engineer deny him, kill all around. Rip head off robot, throw to ground. Chase hero lady who birthed baby squid after boyfriend turned to monster by something robot did. Engineer caught a lady baby squid, now super large. Save her from engineer, now she person in charge. Lady and robot make planetary escape, as engineer could not destroy what engineers had create. This is the song for the film called Prometheus. The film called Prometheus. 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 This is the song for the film called Prometheus. The film called Prometheus. Prometheus! Prometheus!
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Osnator, and welcome back to the road to Alien Earth. Yes, we are currently at stream number 5, which means we're taking a look at the 5th film in this Alien retrospective series with Prometheus. No, not Alien versus Predator. We're skipping those because, first of all, they're not very good movies. Secondly, they're not really needed to talk about when we're talking about Alien himself, our favorite xenomorph, Barry, Gary, Jerry, Larry, basically all of the xenomorphs that have really fun names. But today we're talking about a very unique film. We're talking about the prequel, Prometheus. Does it have anything to really do with the xenomorphs? Well, we'll find out. I'm, of course, joined by the usual suspects. We got Shifty Gizm, and we got Chris Knight, a.k.a. The Real Review 3000. How's it going, gentlemen?
Pretty good. It's going pretty good.
Very good, very good. Before we start, I'm going to let everybody go around the panel, tell everybody where they can find themselves at. We'll start at the bottom there with Chris Knight. Chris, where can they find you at, good sir?
Where I can find myself here. I'm here. This is where I can find myself.
Very good, Chris. Very good.
I mean, if you want to know, I mean, you can find me on the Real Review 3000 also. And you can find me on here sometimes. You can find me on Chaos Control, on Star YT, and a bunch of other places. It just depends. And yeah, So there you go.
All right, very good, very good. Shifty, where can they find you at, sir?
You can find me on X. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me Thursday nights, 8:30 on Vinny and the Guinea Pig Collective and Vinny Art. Wait, no, that's Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective and Vinny Art. Excuse me. For the Collectible Pass Toy Show, 3 hours talking toys from the 60s all the way up to today is good stuff. And then Sundays, Jackbox Fun Night, hosted by that guy down there. But I don't mean to interrupt you here in these intros. But I got to rant about something that happened 2 days ago. Is that fine?
Possibly.
Yes. The head of FX stupidly came out during a press junket or during an interview with Variety and said, "Oh, this show doesn't really adhere to the continuity of the past Alien films, despite being set 2 years but before the first Alien, and despite uh, the last movie adhering to continuity of the prequels." That he said that fans don't care about continuity. The Alien fans don't care about continuity, and a lot of people on Twitter, they went off about that. I don't know why. It seems like every time they get something good going, and this show looks fantastic. They go and they put their foot in their mouth like Kathleen Kennedy does it all the time. And this guy, I don't get it. I don't get it. And then Noah Hawley, the guy that's writing it, and he did Legion and Fargo. He said this is set alongside Aliens, which is way off in the time frame. So I'm really confused what they're going to do with this show, or if he even knows what he's talking about. Because what the f? There's a lot of people really confused now about just exactly what this show is. And the exec actually said this is running parallel to Romulus's story. So I don't know if they're saying it doesn't fit into continuity. I'm almost thinking that this might be set in the Predator universe and setting up Badlands, because there were rumors that this might have a Predator in it at some point. So they may be setting up a huge twist here, and they may have kind of let the cat out of the bag with that interview with Variety. So I don't know what's going on.
That is very complicated, very complex. I don't know what FX is doing. I honestly don't even know, Shifty, what you're talking about. You just confused me right there.
And also, they want this to be a multi-season show. They want it to be their Game of Thrones, they say. So, I don't know what we're in store for.
We're going to have to find out in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or 2-3 weeks. I don't know. Maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I listen. FX really just confused me there. So it's not. So it's taking place alongside Aliens, but it's also taking place alongside Romulus. But it's possible that it's not in the timeline and it's a Predator. I don't know what the fuck FX is talking about.
And they're advertising it being set 2 years before Alien. So what?
Could it be a little bit of everything? Who knows? Maybe we'll find out.
I don't know.
But we're not talking about Alien Earth tonight. We're talking about Prometheus, a.k.a. Ridley Scott's return to the franchise since the first Alien, and also technically the first Alien movie since Alien Resurrection. So.
Oh, you're.
Hello.
You're breaking up, or your mic is becoming unplugged.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, let's try this again. This is technically the first Alien movie since Alien Resurrection, and Ridley Scott's return to the franchise since the first Alien movie. So, Wow, this movie's got a lot going for it. They can't screw this up, can they? Can they?
It depends on what you think.
I know, that's what I'm leading up to.
It did do pretty I mean, it wasn't a smash, but I think it made like 427 million. So I mean, people did go to see it. So
Yes, that is true. But at the same time, we're not talking about the box office here. We're talking about if we
yeah.
actually liked it or not. And you know what? Since you want to go first, Shifty, let's go into overall thoughts. I'll let you go first, sir.
Yeah, well, this is preloaded with some behind the scenes stuff because I think it needs to be touched on. After Alien Resurrection, they were trying to like figure out what to do. At one point, they want to do Alien 5. They want to bring Cameron in to write it and really direct it. That didn't fly because I mean the last one didn't make a lot of money, so they thought they could make AVP cheaper, and they went with that, and that fizzled out really quick after two outings. And then they got really back on board at some point. I ain't going to go into all the stories in between there, but they got really back, and he wanted to do a prequel. And he wanted to talk about the space jockeys. Um, they had John Space write a script for it. Really thought the xenomorph though had lost all his aura of fear, and he thought it had been turned into a watered down slasher villain, and they even used it to sell Pepsi Cola at one point. So he was not high on making a straight up alien movie. So really pitched turning into something further removed from the aliens, focusing on the space jockeys, now referred to as the engineers, and brought Damon Lindelof in to rewrite John Spade's script. And he wanted him to pull all the xenomorph material out of it, despite Fox not being high on the idea. Lindelof frequently gets blamed for what the film ultimately became, but he was really caught between the middle of what Scott wanted and what Fox wanted. The late Roberto Orsi, he used to post with us in the Ain't It Cool News talkbacks, and we were grilling Lindelof back then, and he came in and he said, "You do not know what that guy had to deal with behind the scenes." It kind of got on us. So I'm sure he had his hands full during that production. At one point, it was leaked that it wasn't even going to be an alien film, and that got a lot of buzz, and a lot of fans kind of got pissed about that. So Fox had to come out and talk it back a bit, and they said yes, it is set in the alien universe. But I think maybe it should have been self-contained, probably. Um, Ultimately, they gave Scott what he wanted outside of explicitly connecting some Christian elements to the backstory of the engineers, fearing it would be too controversial. And churchgoers have had a history of protesting certain releases over the years. In press junkets,
Can I say something about that?
yeah,
It's sci-fi, so boo-hoo, people. I mean, again,
yeah,
let me answer
exactly.
this really quick. If you're in, I'm talking to anybody that might watch this here or ever, or anybody who watches a stream where this is brought up. If you're Christian, your faith should be strong enough to stay believing in what you believe in and watch a
Yeah,
movie and think, oh, this has nothing to do with me.
yeah,
It's like, why would you ever let that type of a decision or a possibility even bother what you let a movie be or not be? I mean,
hmm,
that's like, again, people who said Ozzy was a devil worshiper and stuff like that. It's like, come on, people,
yeah.
just be original in your thoughts and just, yeah, that always bothers me when they say, well, we didn't do this because we were afraid somebody might protest. Well, somebody's going to protest no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. And there's countless sci-fi tales where they deal with creation and stuff, and it goes against Christian beliefs, and nobody bats an eye about it. I don't know. I think they kind of pushed out about that. And press junkets really would reveal that the reason the engineers turned on humanity was that Jesus Christ was their last chance emissary to straighten the human race out, and the human race ultimately killed them. And that's why they turned on humanity. Because they keep on saying 2,000 years ago in the movie, but they don't really go into what happened 2,000 years ago. So I mean, one could put all that together. He also flip flopped on a lot of things, including the planet. If it was actually Earth in the opening scene, despite the film's art director confirming it in behind the scenes footage, it was Earth. But it really, Scott,
Yes.
Ridley just kept on flip flopping on a lot of elements. He would do an interview like on Monday, and then by Wednesday he'd say something completely else, and it was so weird during that period. And he did that all the way through Covenant. It was a weird time. Several other things worth mentioning. They cut some pretty great stuff from the film, mostly scenes extending the screen time of the engineer, including conversations with him and David, and which some fans have subtitled using the original script and put it on YouTube. Noomi Rapace, who played Shaw, supposedly had a traumatic time during filming and was one of the reasons why she unfortunately didn't return as lead for the follow-up. But what they were originally setting up for the sequel, they did not go with. And we'll maybe talk about that next week. He had a completely different vision, and Fox was like, no, the fans aren't receptive to this, and we need to go a different way. The teaser for this film is fucking amazing. I think it's one of the best teasers ever. It didn't live up to the teaser. It was
really
great.
quick.
Yes.
To your point to the, Fox said, I don't think the fans are going to like this. This is yet another movie that Fox said, we know, you don't. And you're talking about the guy that started the whole thing. I think if they had just stayed back and said, let's just see what he can do. Let's see what comes up with. I think a good example of that, and maybe you like it, maybe you don't, is Blade Runner 2047, which while he didn't direct, he was still heavily involved in. And I think you can feel it. You kind of feel that the connection there. Because there's somebody who understands what he's trying to bring across.
Speaking of that film, and I don't know how this will sound to Austin, but Ridley, he regrets making Alien Covenant, and he wishes he had made Blade Runner 2049. So I don't.
They're
know
still planning on it.
Yeah, he had a lot of trouble during the next film. But we'll get into that next week. Much like Alien Resurrection, I think this film improves on viewings as you get older, or if you watch it more than once.
You're too young there, little Austinator.
Yeah,
I was younger when I saw it, and I was like hardcore into aliens, and it wasn't really what I don't know. It was weird. But I don't know. Much more so after watching Covenant, I think it improves, and because it wasn't totally clear what they were going through with all the steps to get to the monster in this one at the end, because he would have no meaningful moment other than being birthed and merging with the temple in a symbiotic fashion in the film's follow-up novel. That's what happened, because nobody. Well, in the novel, supposedly a Weyland-Yutani crew comes back to the planet, and they find that the whole temple is like a like living tissue, and that's what happened. The deacon creature, it goes and just merges with the temple, like it's kind of like
the goo and all of it. Yes.
Yeah, like from Resurrection, where we saw Ripley laying on that bed in the last film. And that's about it. Sorry it took so long, but I thought that was some interesting stuff there for this film.
Okay. Are those your thoughts, Shifty?
Yeah, those are my thoughts.
Overall, or just
overall. I got more thoughts coming up.
All right. Very good. Very good. Chris, what are your thoughts on Prometheus?
There are a lot of I don't know. There's a lot of things to unpack in this movie. And the fact that Scott came in and did this, again, I think I said it right there where I said, if the studio just stayed back and said, let's just give him a chance to do what he does, that this movie probably would have been receptive a lot better. I think if they had stayed out of it, there's a lot of things that could have been explored. I liked the premise of this movie. I liked the execution in places of this movie. It makes more sense than people ever give it credit for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that any detractors probably should be more mad at the studio than Ridley Scott. When Scott got finished, I think he kind of was just flabbergasted that he was told to do all this different stuff to something that in principle was really good. And then, as Shifty said, when it went to the next one, the sequel, it just was it just they added so much to just make sense of what they changed that it made less sense. And this is again a perfect masterclass of studio interference. And Ridley Scott has many times stated that he just hates when studios get in his work. And he fights a lot. He fights and fights and fights. And I think this movie, what is good about it is he fought enough that he got this movie out the way that it did get out. It could have been much worse, I think. So I really like this film, but I don't think it's given much of a chance to people because they don't quite understand the fight that was going on behind the scenes.
Now, saying what you said there, I still think the first third of the next film is the best alien stuff that we've got since the second film.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's oh man, I like it. Wait till you see something that happens next film, Austin. It's right up there with the first film. They introduced something new, and it's so good.
Okay, I am very curious to see what you guys are talking about when with the next film. Oh boy. I would presume that you're done with your overall thoughts, Chris.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, no problem. I'm very courteous like that.
I know it's sometimes we hate it. I'm kidding. I've offended the Austinator. Now I must pay a penance.
Oh,
Is he there?
No. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, there. Okay. I was like, what's going on?
Oh,
okay.
I know. Oh my God. Fox is getting me. The ghost of Fox has got me. No.
Yes.
All right, it's fine. I'm back. Wow. Okay. There's I think like what Chris said, there is a lot to unpack here. Look, I'm going to be just upfront about it. I did not care for this movie. Maybe it's just because it's my first time watching it, and maybe I don't completely understand what's going on. I'm going to kind of combine what you both said. I think there are good ideas in here. However, the way this movie portrays everything and it's executed, it doesn't completely work for me. Like, it's one of those movies where I guess the best way to describe it is a lot of it is very much exposition and a lot of it being word dumps. You get a couple of interesting things here and there, but overall, I think my overall experience with this movie was it was very fucking bizarre. Like it was very strange. And honestly,
what did you find strange about it? I'm just asking. Wait, never mind. I'll ask you when we get to the next section because you're just doing overall right now. Sorry.
What I would like to know is what you don't understand about it or what you don't get.
No, okay. Let me rephrase that. Maybe I misconstrued myself. I understand what they're going for. It's the execution of it that's a little frayed.
Okay.
So okay. I apologize if I maybe misconstrued that there because sometimes I don't word things properly.
So you're confused on the process of how they were getting from A to B?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, well, I think maybe Shifty and I could help you on that. Maybe.
Yeah, you might have to explain some things to me because, again, I'm a noob when it comes to this stuff, so you might have to.
Just ask away.
Well, I'll do that once I get to it, but
okay. Yeah, we'll get to it.
But despite that, it's just a very it's a very out there movie, I guess. And I guess maybe the overall thing I can say is it wasn't for me, I guess. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So let's get into positives. I'll go first here because I'm going to be very quick with mine. I know.
It's Andor all over again.
No,
I know
no.
it's Andor over again. I'll give the movie this. From a visual and technical standpoint, this movie is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Like from an aesthetic standpoint, Ridley Scott really did nail it out of the park in terms of the overall design of everything. The effects look good. Like I don't know what I don't know what the budget for this movie was.
A lot.
I think it was like 174.
I'm reading it here. It looks like it's about around 120, 130 million.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't look like it though. Like it looks like there was more money dumped into it.
Because you got somebody who knows how to frame and direct and stuff. Again, Ridley Scott's a master.
Oh yeah. But I would just say as a whole, the movie looks great. The score, like with some of the music, I think was great. Was a great accompaniment to some of the scenes. The cast was a very almost all-star cast here. I mean, you have Idris Elba, Michael Fassbender, you have Guy Pearce, Charlize Theron. I may have just mispronounced her name, but
Charlize Theron, you're right.
Charlize Theron. Like, you had a lot of great actors in this, and
you forgot somebody. The
Who'd I
biggest
forget?
star of them all, Wong.
Yes, he's in this.
yeah. Oh, he was. Oh shit, he was in this movie, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Huh.
So he's dressed up as a dirty space pirate or the dirty space trucker, so it's hard to tell.
You know what? Huh. That puts a lot of things into perspective.
Uh-oh.
That is
He's
interesting.
turned around. He's turned around on it.
I know. Wong's in the movie. Oh my god, this movie's getting a 20 out of 10, guys. Wong's in the movie.
The Sorcerer Supreme's in the movie. Oh my god, I should have seen it all along.
Oh my god, A++ canon to the MCU. Oh my god.
So, Wong. That's why Wong was.
Well, this is on one of his sabbaticals, so when he goes away and you don't see him, it's like when he went in and got Abomination out and was fighting with did the Abomination fights. This is like another one of his trips. He did this instead.
Yeah.
So yes, canon to the MCU. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Wait. So if this is canon, this is canon to the MCU, and he can make his portals. He can get She-Hulk in Prometheus. She can get hook up with the engineer. Oh, that would be a couple right there.
Oh boy, I don't know about that.
See what we did there? See what we did, Austin? We just brought 50.
Oh god, man, not again. And again, I like the overall ideas with this movie. Almost like going into like certain things like belief and it's almost like a philosophical type movie where they're trying to answer, who are we? Where did we come from? And I like them kind of exploring those ideas. But then you kind of start to think about it and you're like, wait a minute. If this is supposed to be about Alien and the xenomorphs, what the fuck? It's like, at first it's a little, it's again, that's why I'm saying it's out there, because you're thinking about it, it's like, oh, it's part of the Alien franchise, and you watch this movie. If anybody wanted to go see this movie, they'd be really confused. They'd be like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, if I went into Prometheus as somebody's like, oh man, I can't wait for this new Alien movie, I would be just super confused. I'd just be like, wait a minute, am I in the right movie theater? Like, type of thing. I mean, not a bad thing, just it's a little out there. Man, it's really difficult. See, this is one of those movies where it's hard to talk about with me because like I just saw the movie like a couple hours ago, but yet it's a little bit of a difficult movie to process. So,
What you're saying there, that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
it it is something you have to process, but yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you guys talk a little bit, and then if anything comes back to me, I'll chime in or whatever. Because this movie's a little too complex for my brain right now. So you know what, Chris, I'm gonna let you go. What are your positives?
First off, you said the whole look of it. Absolutely. I'm a big fan of Ridley Scott. What's funny is I wasn't a big fan of Gladiator per se. I think it's beautiful, and the set pieces that they made, the way they used the CGI and all that was great. But in general, Gladiator, I think, is like one of his lower set pieces that I don't know. I'm just not as impressed with that as things like this and Alien. Um, yeah, this shows you for the price, you can make anything look really great. I mean, everything on like the Blade Runner set was almost practical. So there's ways to do stuff, and he knows how to do that. I think that the story, what somebody not explain it to you. Here's the thing. First off, there's a lot of themes in this that can mean anything to anybody. I was listening to Shifty's song, and I'm like, I don't know what his lyrics said in there, if that's really what's going on in this movie. I don't think it is. But that's the thing. I don't think it is. Maybe Shifty thinks that's what's going on in the movie. I think we probably both see eye to eye on the generics of what the movie is doing, but I'm not sure if we see eye to eye for why were the humans created, why, what the purpose for certain things are in this. That's very. Go ahead.
The first half of it was based on what Ridley Scott had said the story was about after the film had released, about Jesus being the emissary, and that was the reason why they turned on the humans after they had created them. Yeah.
Well, you see, I don't think that they turned on. I don't think it really is something that they turned on the humans, but whatever. We'll get to that later. I think that the casting was done pretty good. Michael Fassbender in this is, I don't know. He's good and he's not. There's just moments when it's like, huh. I mean, and I know this is going to sound kind of, I don't know if oxymoron is the right term, but kind of oxymoron, where he's a little robotic in his delivery of stuff. And I mean that in a way that I understand he's an android, but I don't know if he had to play it off the way he did. Charlize Theron does a very good job in this movie. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that I think set this movie up really well. It makes sense that somebody who's spending millions, if not billions, well, they say trillions in this, but spending all this money to basically be as petty as Weyland Yutani is shown to be in every other one of these movies, which is there's something in it for the people in the company. So he owns this company, and all he's after is, oh, look, here's these two people that say that these engineers may have created us, may not have. They're just some other species, but perhaps because they were smart enough to come here, thousands of years ago, and however many different projections in time that they give with the different societies of human existence. They basically, he's like, okay, well, if they made it here all those years ago, perhaps they're smarter, and maybe they have a way that I can sustain my own life and stay around longer. Why? Because he's a greedy bastard. He wants money. He wants to stay alive. He doesn't want to die. So it ties into Alien for that, because that's what happens in most of the Alien movies, is that the corporation is after their own interests. So that plays in really well. I do like the historical archaeological start in this movie. It's done very nice. It's cool. It feels a little different, but then that also makes it feel like a beginning point. And it ties what until this time felt like just humans accidentally stumbling upon aliens into we did originally go seek them out. So that helps too. So perhaps the answer to the reason why Wayland Yutani keeps sending people is because this is in their files that this was a pursuit all along, and it's just something that somewhere in their files somebody's still told, hey, it says go check this out, because in the system, in the coding of a computer somewhere, it's remembered that Yutani wanted to, or I'm sorry, Wayland wanted to seek these things out. So I like to tie into that. I like the way that the first face hugger comes into this whole thing with basically David infects what I always assumed they were a couple. What's his name? Oh shoot, the other archaeologist. Yeah, Holland. I always thought that they were a couple, but they kind of don't. It doesn't seem like it in this, but it does at times. It's like it's really weird because she goes to the point of I can't have kids, and he's like, well, let's fuck. And I was like, well, haven't you guys already done that? Because you guys are holding hands at times, and it's just I don't know. That's a little confusing, the whole love story between them. But the fact that David basically spikes his drink, and the conversation right there is brilliant. I wonder what they would say if why what they would tell us why they created humans, and then David asks him, or well, why did you create me, or why was I created? And he says because we could. And he says, wouldn't that be so bad? Wouldn't that be horrible to hear from them? We did it because we could. Because, well, he says the most common thing a human would say about why did we create AI? Well, we could. So it's not nice to think that somebody did it for no other purpose but just because. And I like that whole exchange right there before he basically, in a sense, himself, David, kind of sets this whole thing off. If you think about it, even before the actions that happen soon after with the other guys in the cave and stuff, even before that, David kind of sets this whole thing in motion anyways. It would have happened whichever way it went. And that's kind of interesting. The worms, the mutation, all that stuff happening. I guess the best thing then is what it's showing is depending on your genetic makeup, it basically just empowers more of that genetic makeup, kind of puts it in overdrive, and it's like a mutated super version of itself. So the worms get bigger and more aggressive, and even when they cut off one of the heads, it grows back.
Yeah.
Or the tail. I can't remember. Is it the head or the tail?
I couldn't remember.
Okay. Anyways, the goo thing. I like the goo thing. It makes sense. It's like, okay, so this is because we saw it at the beginning. It ties into that. I think the mapping sequence is really cool. I think the echoes of the memory of what happened there was really cool. I'm fine with the story, the way that she cuts the thing out. I love that scene. When you come to find out, this is a question that's brought up, I think, in discussions outside of it, but you kind of find out that in the ark, or whatever you're going to call it, the lifeboat that, oh shoot, I just had her name. Charlize Theron.
Oh, Vickers.
Vickers, thank you. Vickers, of course, when she brings them in, she's showing off. Look at what I have. I'm safe here. Nothing's going to happen to me. Sure. As soon as somebody says that, what happens? Anyways, it opens up after we see her cut that out. I think we find out either there or at some point that the medical pod is not designed for women. So the question comes up is Vickers another android? And
No.
wait, I'm just saying something here. This is discussions
I know.
that I've heard.
Yeah, but it's for her father. It's that was the giveaway.
I
It was set up
understand
for.
it's for Wayland, but it still sets up because she pushes David against the wall and holds him there. I think that it's heavily implied, and this is Ridley Scott again trying to push his Blade Runner. Is he or isn't he a replicant? That's what I've always thought. It's like she's so androgynous between being either a human or an android because she can control David, push David around. She's got that power, and they talk like they're siblings, but not siblings. But she shows at times some emotions. So I've always been kind of on the fence that no, I don't think so. I think she may be a clone, not an actual daughter. And there is the possibility that she's an android because the android thing, people have said, oh, she's in a cryopod. Well, the first android was in a cryopod.
Ash.
So, yeah, Ash, thank you. Ash was in one. So it's not unheard of for them to try to blend in or to make it not known. So there's some question about that. Anyways, I like those questions going on because the whole movie is about those questions about what is and what isn't real, what is and isn't happening. The whole thought process of the possibility that there's been a war between the engineers where you have a military side and a benevolent side. The benevolent side created humans,
Yes.
and that the military side wanted to destroy the humans, which is why they were coming back. They didn't like what the humans were doing or whatever. Like that's where the whole Jesus Christ thing comes into play, which I can believe in. That's why we see all these dead engineers around. I love these questions. And to your point, Austinator, where you said, oh, well, there's a lot of this stuff going on, a lot of questions. It didn't make sense. I saw this really cool retrospective on this movie about 2 years ago, and it put it in a great perspective that when Alien first came out, they said a lot of the same things, like where did that ship come from? How did they get on that planet? Who sent the distress signal? All these things were questions when that movie first came out. And as the years have gone by, nobody talks about the questions that are still in that movie, in Alien, because people love the movie. I think possibly in 30, 40 years, this movie might be looked at like that. It might be looked at and said, oh, hey, well, it doesn't really matter. It's a great movie. Look at it. And again, the progression of how we get to the, and you said it earlier, 50, I want to call it, it's the proto xenomorph or whatever. It's the Dayton? No. Is Dayton? Deacon, that's it. Deacon, that's it. Deacon. There you go. Okay, sorry. The way we get from point A to point B in that makes sense to me. It just works. It's fine. So it's just as much the face hugger thing from the first movie, like the what the F moment, and getting to the xenomorph in that. It makes sense to me. Now, the problem I would have with that is going to come up in my dislikes, but I've taken a lot of time. I just love this movie. This movie is done really well, and for all the studio interference that happened in it, I think it still came out very good.
Yep.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna chime in real quick. I'm glad you brought up that whole conversation between David and oh God, you said his name already.
Holloway.
Holloway.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, I will say that conversation is very interesting to me because some of you may not know, but when I was in college, my minor was in philosophy. And there was one thing in one of my philosophy classes that did always stick out to me, and that was the watch. Where, for example, you put the watch on the island, but nobody put it there. It's almost like, well, who put it there almost? I may have butchered that whole telling of it, but the basic understanding of that whole conversation is, you want to meet your maker, you want to know, you want all these answers, but what happens when you're disappointed by the answer? Where you have that, where it's like, well, I built you just because, but then, if God is real and you ask God, well, why are we here? And then God, and then imagine God saying, "Oh, because I just felt like it." Like that. That's a very deep almost thing, at least for me, because again, as a philosopher, that does tickle my fancy a little bit. You know what? I will say that like the two kills in the cave, before everything else happens. Like, I thought those were very gruesome. Like, yeah, the alien worm, coming in and like wrapping around the arm, breaking the arm, and then trying to cut it off, and then like all the acid like gets in the helmet and melts on the guy's face, burning him. That was gruesome and very, very neat.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very nifty. I And you know what? And even like the stuff with AI in this movie, like kind of even going into that a little bit. Like it's not as deep as like the very like, oh, why are we here and all that fun stuff. But there's like points throughout the movie where like, David, who's the android in this movie, and especially towards the end where you have the main character, oh god, Elizabeth Shaw. That's her name. And then basically telling him, well, what, and then like almost him questioning things a little bit here and there, and then like saying, well, and then her saying, well, how can you feel this if you're an android, and almost like having that almost like what's the word for it here? I think having that almost, again, it's almost very questioning of like the android basically trying to figure out its place a little bit, even though that's not really the case, because I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. The android, oh my god, because the android Michael Fassbender plays as, like, he's asking all these questions, but at the same time he's doing all these things deliberately to set things in motion. I think, like what Chris said. And then the Weyland-Yutani Corporation, you have the head there just wanting to basically know, like he's dying. He just wants to know, what happens. And then you see like one of the creator guys come in, and they're like, and he's like, hey, so can you tell him what's going on? And then like he just kind of comes to that realization of, it's nothing. Like, I was like, damn, that's pretty heavy. Like, shit. That's just a few more positives I had. Maybe I'll have a couple more after Shifty goes, but Shifty, tell us about your positives. Oh my god, I took the banner down. My god.
I, like everybody else has said, it's a gorgeous film. I think they filmed it in Iceland. Gorgeous vistas in the opening. The engineer's sacrifice in the opening scene, really awesome stuff, despite it going over the head of way too many people over the years. There is an extended scene of that that they cut out. You need to go back and watch that because it's pretty neat. The dude that played Holloway is a near dead ringer for Tom Hardy. That's pretty cool for him, I would think. Maybe not. I don't know. The score is really good, but the main theme is used at odd moments, like the climatic conversation between Shaw and Janik, the captain Idris Elba plays. When they realized the engineers wanted the humans dead, he's coming in there and saying, "We got to get out of here. Those are bioweapons and stuff," and they play that kind of uplifting theme during that whole conversation. That it didn't fit that that scene and all. The dream vision tech is really nice, but something that kind of goes against the past stories like Resurrection, which was over 200 years in the future, and that would have been really beneficial with the experiments they're doing on Ripley to maybe pull some memories and stuff out. But of course, this was put in after Resurrection, so I like the science versus the faith aspects of the film. Something that was going to be an even bigger draw for the initial
Well,
premise of the follow up.
can I
But
say something about that? You
yes,
like the science over the faith part?
no,
Is that
I
what?
like no, I like the science versus the faith
Oh,
aspects.
okay, yeah,
Like,
okay, yeah. That's the same thing I like about this. It's very well
yeah,
done.
yeah. The next film, I don't know, because yeah, they it's kind of leaning the yeah
If you want to
it
see real studio interference, the next movie is your case study. It
yeah
more
because
so than Alien Resurrection.
yeah, the next one is like, hey, let's make this Christian guy look to be like an idiot for doing certain things. But uh, yeah, yeah. Some of the ship interior early on it harkens back to the design of the Nostromo, but it's unfortunately really kept to a minimum. Which does make sense as the Prometheus was a top of the line exploration ship, and Nostromo was an
Mhm.
old towing vessel. David's awesome. Great character. He gets even better in the second one because it goes into like a mad scientist role, and it just man, wait till you see how the second movie ends and where they leave it off, and then there's like some they did some there was this website you had to go to get like transmissions, and they collect them. I'll link it in the group next week. You can watch it. But he great character, and there's a lot of
Mhm.
people that are desperately wanting to see the end of his story, even if it doesn't play out like they set it up. How Ridley wanted to set it up, but at least put him in Romulus too, or something, or I don't know. They need to do something with David. Like I said, Wong's in this movie, so that's awesome. I like a lot of people's. Let's see. I like a lot of people's complaints uh, are easily explained away if you just pay attention. Like the storm being triggered as a trap to keep them inside the temple, exposing them to the black goo weapon. Like it's almost as if they want to keep you inside the temple to get exposed to the black goo to kill you. Because you're trying to steal their shit there. So, because they said they were terraforming, and when they touched the black goo, the clouds started forming and stuff. Also, that's people were always complaining about. Oh, the map maker dude, he got lost. He was the dude who's making the maps. Well, Janik was talking to him and kind of guiding him through because all the information was going back to the ship, and Janik
Mhm.
was actually guiding him through, but nobody picked up on that. And that's one of the main complaints. They're like stupid people doing stupid things in the movie. I'm like, no, watch the movie. It's right there in front of your face. He got lost for a reason because he couldn't see the map, and plus the storm was glitching out the beacons.
Mhm.
It People are dumb. People's always complain about the. Oh, I just read that. Here, check this out. They always complain about the dude going over to the mutated worm. It's like nobody would do that in real life. They wouldn't go up to an animal and be like, hey there, pretty snake. How are you? Haven't they seen the Crocodile Hunter? Have they not seen Steve
Mhm.
Irwin? He did
No,
that
because that was many thousands of years before the, or not thousands, but 60, 70 years before this movie.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the people that complain about that scene, it wasn't too far off from when that show aired. I mean, they should. I don't know. People are dumb. I like the small mention that the engineers were wearing helmets, and and they weren't an exoskeleton. Something that they did have though, because they feature the prequel series that we never got. That was going to be the last step of the xenomorph DNA process. We were going to get a alien to come out of one of the exoskeleton up uh, uh, engineers, because that's what the aliens have. They have a biomechanical exoskeleton, and something you're going to see in the next movie. It kind of foreshadows that. But that's we'll talk about next film. I really like the dynamic between Vickers and David. We just went over that, especially once you realize her relation to Waylon and how she never received the admiration that David did, and the fact that she wanted the mission to be a bust. I kind of wish that had been the focal point of the film more than Shaw. I don't know. I don't know. There's so many great elements of the film. I think they could
Well,
expand.
if they had switched the focus on who it was on, like if it was on Vickers, it would have been better because what they end up doing in the next movie. Because
Yeah.
you make such an emphasis on a character in this movie and then kind of just throw it out the window like a piece of trash.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Oh, well, we kind of spoiled it. We spoiled it for Austin there.
No, we didn't.
Oh, well,
We didn't spoil
yeah,
anything.
okay. Yeah. Austin. The next film is kind of like Alien 3 in a way. I'll just
Oh
say
God.
that. Yeah. Well, hold on. I did something here. Okay. Let's see. Not only that, but her taking out Holloway like she did. That. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Vickers. The way that she took out Holloway. She's like, he's not getting on my ship. That was like the calling back to Alien. When Ripley was like, don't let him on board. Don't let him on board. Ripley should have got a blowtorch and went gung ho on the dude. I thought that was a nice callback to the first film. That was cool. And yeah, I mean, I liked the movie more than I did the first time I saw it, because that opening night, it was really weird. It was just really weird. And like I said, until I saw Covenant, stuff didn't really click to what they were building up to, because like I said in the backstage, this film and Covenant are one step in the DNA process of getting towards the creation of the xenomorph. We see the first face hugger, and then the next one we see something else. I'm not going to ruin it, but they were building, and Ridley Scott wanted 4 to 5 films in a series, and then he kind of downgraded to 3. But he never got the third one. And then there was another film that was going to be wedged into there, but it really wasn't. And I'm really going to talk about that one next week, because the director of District 9 tried to hijack the series away from him by what he did to get hired by Fox, and it was a bullshit move. And we'll talk about that next week.
Interesting. There's a lot of war to this anime, I see.
What? Anime?
Well, you know how like shit happens. It's like, oh, there's a lot of war here to the anime here. Yeah, again, I'm gonna kind of bounce off of what Shifty said a little bit. I think what I was trying to, because again, I can't explain things well, but the stuff with David and like the AI stuff, like it does kind of go with that, almost like that science versus religion type stuff, especially like with her the main character having the cross, and like with Shaw having the cross, and like almost like having her faith questioned almost by everybody throughout the film. It does bring that into question. I guess maybe that's what I was trying to go for when I was bringing up David earlier. So that's the positives, I think. Let's go into negatives. And you know what? I'm gonna let Shifty start. What are your negatives, sir?
Well, first off, they cut a lot of great stuff that fleshes a lot of things out.
Have they released the director's cut of this? I can't remember.
There's no director's cut. They just
cut this. Why can't he do what he did with Blade Runner and release like 300 million different versions?
I don't know. I don't think there's enough time spent on making certain crew members likable or even worth being there. Like Wong, he has like maybe 3 lines. The co-pilot there, I don't, man, I think he only has one line about them betting on something, and it's just, I don't know. I just, man, I really think this film could have used an extra 20 minutes or so. I don't like the fact that they retconned the look of the engineers. I understand why they did, but I miss the old look that went in the comic books and stuff. They kind of look
Oh,
like
okay. I
mannequins.
was about to say, I was like, they didn't. I mean, I don't count that as a retcon. I'm not really even sure how much. I know, again, this brings back the whole canon stuff. How much canonism is really in the comics? I know when the original ones were out, it was
Yeah.
more canon, and as they went along, I think that.
Well,
Mm,
in the first film, I mean, it was a clear difference in size. I mean, the thing was much bigger in the first movie when we saw it sitting in the chair, and it looked like it was actually, I don't know, some sort of great big huge animal like creature that was actually merged into the chair. We did. You didn't know where the skeleton started and the chair began, and
well, I think,
it wasn't just
yeah,
it
I
wasn't
get it. I
just
get
like
it.
a humanoid. But there was speculation that that uh, I think there's a line in this film like they made us, but who made them or something. Like so
Wait,
it's really made to
wait,
have
wait. Are you saying who made who?
yeah
Oh God, you lost the
yeah. Well,
ACDC reference in that. The the
well
the what was the movie that they did that the soundtrack for? Oh
I
well, go
don't know.
ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but so there might have been like another version of like a higher up version of that. That might have been. We don't know that because we don't know. Maybe at some point Ridley will like write something down and tell us what's going to happen, but I don't know. Um, yeah, but there was man, the prequels were supposed to lead up to the a certain point in the classic series, and I just it, man, it's a shame we didn't get there. Still, the engineer we see is over 2,000 years old and genetically modified. Who knows how big the engineers that may be flying around during the events of Prometheus that we don't see that was supposed to come back in the third film. They may have looked different. They may have been bigger. We like I said, we don't know. The reanimating scene of the engineer head was cool, but it was really silly. Um, not as silly as Vickers not being smart enough to run off to the side to dodge the tumbling juggernaut ship. Folks gave that scene so much shit, and rightfully so. It was pretty dumb. I'm
Hmm.
just run to the side, run to the side. The squid, or
He's
it's
not.
called
Wait,
the
whoa, whoa,
trilo.
whoa, 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 wait. Shifty. She
Yeah.
wasn't written to run off to the side,
Well, I know, but she should have.
but she's not real, and she doesn't have real thoughts. She's programmed to do something, and she did exactly what she was programmed to do, which is die.
Well, okay.
You
The
remember
the
that. Whenever you
squid.
watch a movie like this, it's basically a
Yeah,
programmed movie. It's programmed. It's like a computer. It can only do what it's told to do.
I know, but yeah, it's dumb.
Did you really
The
want her to live?
squid. Well, yeah, kind of. I mean,
Okay.
she's kind of hot, and big
Yes.
ups
Yeah.
to
No. No. I got. Yeah.
big ups to Idris Elba. She's like my room, 10 minutes. Yeah. The squid or the it's called the trilobite. It man, I just don't think it was scary enough. I don't know. It was. I'm just not. I don't get frightened by sea creatures. I don't know. Uh,
Uh,
nor was the deacon creature that appears at the end of the film. Yeah, I think that looked pretty dumb. I really hated its inclusion for years until I saw Covenant because, like I said, I didn't know what they were doing with it because I was like, wait, they spent the whole film building up to the reveal of this creature, but he has no purpose. But what? Yeah,
but
I didn't get
but
it.
wait a minute.
But
I mean, it's evolution. That's its
yeah,
first. form over years and become
I
something
get that.
else.
I get that.
That's what
I get
that's what
that.
Alien is all about. All these movies are about an evolution.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's one step in the genetic process to
I
get to
think
the
I think I have
xenomorph.
just thought of a new movie. A new movie I can now pitch. I'm going to call it Alien Evolution.
What wasn't that movie with David Duchovny? It was like Ghostbusters.
That was just called Evolution.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to call it Alien Evolution and make it an alien movie.
Ah,
And I have many ideas for that already. Never mind. Ooh, I'm going to have a really good alien movie in mind. I'm going to call, just give me a second, guys. I got to call Ridley Scott really quick.
okay.
I
All right,
got
you
him on speed
called.
dial.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see where it was. Goofy foreshadowing moments, and the dialogue that accompanies them. Big things have little beginnings, and and
Oh,
and
God.
yeah, and I can't create life, and out of nowhere, it was an out of nowhere revelation, setting up an abortion scene like 10 minutes later. That was like I can't create life. 10 minutes later, you're pregnant. What? Come on now. That was man.
Get it out of me! Get it
Speaking
out
of
of me!
speaking of which, the C-section sequence. It wasn't nearly as gnarly as Scott hyped it up to be. He said it would outdo the chest burster. No, no, it didn't.
Mm, mm.
Guy Pearce's crappy makeup as the old man Wayland. They should have just cast an older actor, regardless of them filming the TED Talk short film first, which was released before the first teaser dropped. That was the first thing, Austin. That's probably mixed in with the cut scenes.
Now
Before
I
the
know
first,
why that scene has always kind of bothered me because you just brought up the perfect comparison. The TED
yeah,
Talk scene.
the first thing we saw this movie, I think it was before the first teaser. They released a TED Talk with Wayland, and it was just young Guy Pearce, and he's like da, 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 da.
Yes.
And it was
From
yeah,
2012, wasn't it? It's supposed to be from 2012 when he
yeah,
first creates the company.
yeah, yeah,
Holy
man.
shit! I just realized that was exactly like a TED Talk. Holy shit!
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I hated how Shaw didn't tell Janek about what David had just done and about what she had just went through when they were having that conversation. She should have just lifted up her shirt. It's like, look, David did this, and he was like, what? I mean, they didn't. I mean, why wouldn't you tell him? Why wouldn't you tell him? Oh my god, he would have got the others on the crew, and he would have. They would, man. Yeah, that's my biggest complaint that she didn't tell him what they had done. She should have. And then they're sitting there playing that uplifting music the
Oh,
whole
wait a
time
minute.
during that scene.
Wait. Does David come clean to her? I don't remember David coming clean to her anytime in this.
I think
Because she doesn't know that he put something in. Yeah, what's his
I
name?
think Holloway he gives away enough
Yeah.
because he's like, did you happen to have relations in the past 24 hours? I don't know.
Well,
I
still,
think
I mean, I don't know.
yeah,
Lots of people should have been able to put two and two together in this movie, but they didn't really do a good job of that, did they?
no. But yeah,
Anyways, keep
that's
going.
all I got that's all I got
Oh,
for dislikes.
okay.
All right, very good, very good. Chris, negatives.
Again, I like Michael Fassbender, but at times it's like he's trying too hard to be that android. At times, like the first scenes where you just see him running around and stuff before they wake up, I think it's done very well. I think that explains enough that he's an android. He's out, he's around, and they don't hide it in this movie per se. But it's his performance at times, like the little things, or big things have little beginnings or something like that. It's like it's at times, and like the whole scene, he did say that I do remember now. He asked, "Well, did you have anything? Did you do anything recently?" That's really was delivered poorly, I think. But I don't know if that's so much him as the writing, and I'm not sure who wrote this movie. I don't think Scott had much to do with the writing. I know Scott
No,
doesn't. Go ahead.
John Space wrote it, and then the
Okay.
guy that headed up Lost, Damon Lindelof,
Yeah.
came in and rewrote it.
Well, there you go. There's part of the issue. I'm not a big Lost fan. I think Lost really kind of shifted it, shifted in there at the end, and I think that they just worked themselves into a corner. Which some of this sometimes reminds me of that. It's like they just get themselves into a corner, and it's like, well, how do we get out? Well, plot device. Here we go.
Have you seen The Leftovers on HBO?
Maybe.
It's where they think the rapture had came.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's from the same guy. I think that's a really good show. So I mean,
it's a lot of the same thing though. It's like, I don't know. Anyways, it's those. There's many moments like that where it's like, I feel like the performance or the writing should have been a lot better. Shifty said it. The whole just out of nowhere, I can't have kids. Well, again, the way they presented these two characters is that they're together, or I don't know. I've never seen two people find something when they hold their hands together, like, oh, we were right. That's something that people who have been in the field for many, many years and have a little more than just this intellectual relationship or common journey. If you have a common journey, you may hug somebody because you're so happy something happened. But when you hold somebody's hand, I think it means more. So I already thought in this movie when I first saw it that they already had a thing, and then when you get to the whole "I can't have kids" scene, and it's like he says, "Oh, well, I'll fuck you just to make you feel better," like it's a way of him just going, "Oh, I guess you're the last chick in the bar. I guess I'll do this." So it doesn't come across like they have any relationship. It's always so back and forth, and I think that's a writing problem. Again, Vickers' death is stupid. The character development and other characters in this movie, while great actors, or no, great is a strong word, but while they picked great people for the characters, it's almost to waste because there's just not a lot of really good time to build up what these characters. I mean, Idris Elba's character should have had something other going on, or something that made you care about him. He seems like he commands some sort of presence, so we needed more from him. You needed more from Vickers. You needed more from all of them. So they're very almost paper cutouts of a character. And while some things that go on in this movie help get past that, others doesn't. And so it's a very, I don't know. It's not like the first one. The first one, I felt like I cared about the characters as they died more. And this one, it's just like, okay, another one bites the dust. Which is, after the second one, it feels like that's just all that's going on when people die in these movies. Just like, okay, well, that I knew that was going to happen. It's like, because you can almost tell from the get-go who is going to die in these movies. In the first and second one, you're not 100% sure. And by the third one, you start really getting that feel of knowing what's going to happen. I do think that I want to really quick. I'm going to interject a thing I really like about this movie, though. The way that they do start the problems, I felt like with the worms and stuff that they were going to go right back to like the face hugger scene, and it's reminiscent of that scene. Yet at the same time, it's fresh and new how they do those things. So I liked that. But there's just holes in the writing that make some of this feel really stiff and unemotional. And I think Shifty said it about the music. At the times that happens, it's like, oh, okay. Like maybe the music choices were really interesting. But Yeah, there you go. That's some of them.
All right, very good, very good. All right, here's
You're cutting out again.
oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, there we go. So let's start at the beginning here. I did find the opening to the movie to be kind of strange. It did kind of come off like very nature documentary esque, where there's these shots of like, oh, look at the water. Oh, look at the trees. Oh, look at that guy on the cliff eating that thing that's killing him. Oh no, it's like it's a bit weird, but it fits with the movie. It's not really negative. It's just something I want to comment on. Um, this is kind of a negative towards this movie, and I understand what they were going for. It makes sense, but the movie at points is very very slow. Like it's a movie where a lot of it is very exposition. A lot of it is an exposition dump. Not a whole lot's happening for that first hour. It's it's almost a very slow burn esque movie, kind of like Alien, but not done as well at points. I feel like at points
That's
it does. Hmm?
that's kind of weird because I think it kind of moves too fast at times.
Hmm.
I don't know. At least to me, it was a little slow at points. The dialogue, I think you guys touched on it a little bit, is a little like eye rolling at points. Like the whole thing with oh, I can't have children. Like that whole scene was just like really like why. And then like there's just some other ones that I can't remember off the top of my head that just came off a little like okay, really, was this really what Ridley Scott was planning on doing here? Um, the whole like cesarean scene, like Shifty said, was just a little like okay, I guess. Like it was kind of weird. It's kind of bizarre. It's kind of out there. I don't know if I would have personally done it, but whatever. I didn't write the movie, so take that for what it were, I guess. The alien like the alien snake I thought was like it's just kind of again like a little weird, a little strange. And then you have the big octopus monster at the end, which I think kind of like Shifty said, it didn't really look scary. I mean, gross, sure, but scary, not really. And I guess like another issue with this movie is, they market this movie almost as like oh my god, guys, this is a scary movie. You peeing yourself, guys. It's scary. Um, no, I didn't find this movie to be like a horror film at all. It's
Yeah.
more sciencey than a horror movie. Like it wasn't scary at all. It was just kind of like okay, stuff's happening. Fair enough. Um, and Chris, you talked about like that whole scene like before everyone's waking up. You see David doing his like shtick. It's like again, right there. Like I wasn't fond of it. Like I understand what they were going for, but but if I'm watching a movie like this, I don't want to see somebody's like daily routine. Like it's
Well, they do go too long for that. It's like we already know. Okay, obviously he's something other than one of the crew, and he's checking on all the crews and watching their creepy memories and stuff. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
like because it's almost like me watching a movie, like watching oh god, it's like watching a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but at the beginning of the movie, you got a character named Joe Schmo shaving his armpits. Like,
Well,
that's
I mean, his favorite movie was what what is it? Lawrence of Arabia, and he really liked Peter O'Toole in that movie. And that's who he patterned his look and his speech after in that film. So that was kind of essential to his character that he was a robot, but he had interests and he was vain and And I kind of like that. I mean, I think that was kind of necessary for his character because he's a lot different than any other android we've seen in the Alien films. He actually has interests and you know personal appearance upkeep and stuff. So
Sure. Um, like I again like the TED Talk scene, I feel like goes on a little too long. Like I think that's kind of another issue with this movie is the pacing at
oh,
points is a little all over the place, at least for me.
awesome. Yeah,
Huh.
that scene you're referring to as the TED Talk. No, there was an actual TED Talk scene that they
Yeah,
filmed for the
it
movie that
was
was
a
released before the teaser.
it was a tease. It was a teaser. It. I mean, Ridley Scott, starting here, really got into this little thought process of I'm gonna like direct a bunch of really short, small movies to lead up to a movie, and that's what he did with this.
Well, I mean, like that scene that I think that I'm talking about, like that's still very
Yeah,
much like a
yeah.
TED Talk
Hmm.
scene.
Oh yeah.
Like, but I think that's kind of another issue with the pacing is like I think certain things go on way too long at points where it's almost like, all right, we get it, like move on, please. Like it's there are things that drag on a bit, and then there's also some like there's just like some weird things in there too. Like I said, it's and maybe because like now that like I was able like I've been hearing you guys is like what your talking points and what you guys are saying about your positives and negatives. Like I understand the movie a little bit more, like, but and then and there's another thing too. Some of the characters like do stupid things, which I get it. Like it's like a movie like this. Sure, you're gonna have characters that do stupid things, but sometimes I really don't like that. If you have to do stupid stuff to make the plot go along, it makes me just kind of like go, really?
What instances are you talking about? Because people say that all the time, but usually the things that they say is stupid, it's explained in the movie.
It probably is explained in the movie, but I'm saying when I initially watched it, like,
Oh, okay.
especially like, again, when you guys explained it, yeah, it makes sense. But like when I was watching the
Uh,
movie, it's like it's like, okay, you have chances to leave. Why aren't you leaving? And they do explain that, but at the same time, I'm thinking like there's got to be some common sense here. Like if I see like a fucking guy turn into a zombie like creature, and I'm seeing some fucked up things, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. Let's just go. Let's cut our losses here. Let's tell them forget it. But like you said, Shifty, they explain it like it's more stuff when I watched it initially that like I'm thinking like what the fuck, like that's dumb. Like
I
why are we
got you.
doing this? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
an initial watch.
Hmm.
So I'm not exactly like sure what you're saying, Shifty. It's just more of a me thing, I guess.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but those are really my major negatives. Like I just think some of the pacing's off. I think certain things were just like it's more of a technical thing, I guess. Where net like at first it was a little confusing, but once you're able to talk it through with people and like once you like hear their points, it's like, okay, now I understand a little bit more. Like I think it's an example of maybe Shifty. Maybe you guys have a good point. Maybe this is a movie where you have to watch it multiple times to understand what's going on, because maybe they're just things I missed. There are a couple things maybe I missed, and you guys talked about it that maybe now I'm like, all right, maybe I should go back and watch it to fully understand what I'm talking about.
I'd at least wait till after you watch Covenant.
Okay. Again, this is my first time watching it, so bear with me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can't speak, guys.
No, you can speak fine. You're fine.
I don't know about that. But yeah, I think that pretty much is it.
Yeah, I wouldn't question yourself. really on your thoughts, because being a first watch through, and you watched it today, you said?
Yeah.
So the first time you watch something, especially when it is trying to throw a lot of stuff in it,
Mhm.
it's not always easy to say, okay, I see what they're trying to go for here. And there's nothing that I don't think you have anything to like apologize for, because I'm sure you weren't the only one. I mean, and I remember when I first saw this, I was trying to figure out exactly. Um, I was trying to figure out exactly how this would tie into Alien, because I knew it was an Alien movie, and even after it's done, it's like, and I think Shifty said this at the end of it. The first time I watched it, I'm like, this whole movie and all of what's going on, and really all we did was come up with the Denton, the this
Deacon.
Deacon, yeah, the Deacon. That's all we got out of it, and
Yeah.
you're gonna feel a lot of the same things next week.
Yeah, and it doesn't help very much that the teaser it showed that ship crashing, and everybody was like, "Oh, that must be how the ship crashed on LV-426." Oh,
That's what I
must.
thought too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, again, like it's probably one of those movies where I probably will watch it again, and maybe like after I watch Covenant and after this, like maybe my opinions will change on it. Like it's not, and maybe now I need to preface this. I don't think it's a bad movie. Like it's a little out there. It's a thinking man's movie, I guess you could say. Like it is one of those movies where you do need to you have to like actually use your brain for once, and you have to like actually turn it on a little bit, let the creative juices flow. So again,
I don't know.
Hmm?
It is a thinking, but I don't think it's thinking as in putting two and two together. More to the point of it's almost a theology lesson, to put it for lack of a better expression. It's questioning a lot of things. Like, are we descendants? Are we a part of quote unquote God? Or is it science that created us? This is a mix of it, because again, we're not sure the whole part of the beginning of it where we see him drink that goo.
Yeah.
If we don't know if that was a sacrifice, we don't know if that was a like he was given the gift, right? Because we see the ship go off, and we're not sure if that ship. Go ahead.
the explanation for that is he was seeding the planet. That
Exactly.
they did. Yeah.
But the explanation isn't necessarily the point there, because again, I think Ridley Scott puts a lot of things in there for you to kind of question and come up with your own idea. Again, for years, Ridley Scott, while he hinted that Deckard might be a replicant, he never explicitly wanted to give an answer. It was always supposed to be, you need to do it, but he didn't feel like enough people felt the question was there, so he kept messing with it, and then he just blatantly came out and said, "Yeah, he is," but other people said, "No, he isn't." So it's like then he kind of created it. I think he puts questions in there, and then when it's not taken the way he wants it to be taken, he tries to push people a certain direction. I took it as he was left, possibly he was left there and it was a sacrifice, but sacrifice has a benefit that it becomes something else. So it's metamorphosis. And again, metamorphosis is the big question and the big thing going on in alien films. So there's a lot of that stuff going on. So I don't know if it's thinking, sometimes trying to think it out is actually more maddening than coming to your own understanding. Maybe that's what the thing is to watch it and don't allow yourself to try to understand what he was trying to tell you. watch it again when you do. Try to say, what do I think this being said, or what do I think is going on? I think this movie is very much more of a personal thing. It's you come up with your own beliefs in it, and then it makes sense to you. And that is one thing this movie did, was give a lot of discussion points for people. There's a lot of discussion about this movie, probably more so than possibly any of them.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the right way to say it. It's one of those movies where you can't exactly shut your brain off completely, but you do have. But it is like, yeah, I get what you mean, Chris. I think that's probably the right way to go about it. All right, let's go into our final thoughts and our final grades. I'm going to start with Shifty. Your final thoughts and final grades.
Okay, the fourth time watching it, I think it plays better now than it did on release. Still, it's kind of vague if you don't pay attention and listen to some of the explanations Ridley Scott provided in the junket interviews. Much like The Last Jedi, I think there was a bit more. If there was a bit more in the way of some exposition in certain scenes, I think a lot of people would have a higher opinion of it because they just weren't paying attention, and it shows because they always bring up the same things. And like I said, there's explanations for the problems that they have. I'd give it a B. I think. I don't know if it aligns with the rankings I did last summer, but I give it a B. Next week, Covenant. Make sure to watch the various short films that were released before the movie came out. I'll link them in the group if you don't have access to them. Yeah, you should have access to them, Austinator, because they're basically it's basically the first chunk of the movie that he cut out and released it as promotional material, which was kind of stupid because it introduces you to the crew of the new ship, the Covenant, and there's also a short film of what happens with David and Shaw, which is kind of, man, people were very disappointed about that. It's like an Alien 3 moment of not continuing on after Aliens, but you'll see what happens. And next week I'm going to mention what happened with Neil Blomkamp when he tried to force his way into the mix. But give it a B. I like it.
Very good, very good. Chris, your final thoughts and final grades.
Final thoughts on this. I like the movie. I do. I see a lot of shortcomings of it, but when you talk about what we got before this point, this felt like a good fresh reset. Not a reboot, just a reset, and giving it back to the first director felt right. After seeing the movie, it still felt right. But like I said, there were parts of it I'm like, I don't know. But it felt like there was fresh life, and it was a beginning to tell us where and how we got to Alien. And I was really excited about that. I thought that there was a really good there was some really good thoughts going into this, and I was really excited for the next one. And when we got down the line to the next one, I started realizing some of the problems we were going to have when I heard it became Alien Covenant. This was cool because it's called Prometheus. It's named after the ship, and you see that they've taken this concept a couple times, but like Alien Romulus, things like that. They've taken the name of the ship and thrown it in there. But this one was really like saying Prometheus, it's a starting point to all of that. And we're not going to even mention Alien. It's like they tried to say, we're not going to talk about the aliens so much. This is about a beginning. And so I really liked that concept. I liked how they tried to conceptualize it. I think there were a lot of good points in this movie. There are some idiotic moments, but not nearly as many as we had gotten with the past two. I mean, with Resurrection and with 3, I felt like this movie was better in delivering the product that I felt like I was going to go see. I would put this probably in a B range, like maybe just a straight B, maybe closer to a B plus. Just because it really felt like they were going someplace, and it felt like they had kind of caught themselves from the failures of the past. So I'll give it that high B, not quite a B plus, but very high B. Like I guess it would be like an 86%, not an 87, 88, or 89.
Okay. Very good. Very good. All right. So, having said all that, and after talking through it with you guys and, kind of understanding it a bit more, I don't hate this movie. I will say it's easily better than Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, because those movies, in hindsight, really weren't that great. Like, I think Alien 3, honestly, the more I think about it, the more, like, I've kind of soured on it a little bit more than I did when I reviewed it when we reviewed it first, or a couple weeks ago. It's not bad. Like I said before, from a technological standpoint and from a visual standpoint, it's a gorgeous film. It's a well-made movie, and there's a lot of great things that Ridley Scott's presented. That said, like I said before, it's a movie I'm probably going to rewatch and maybe after I watch Covenant, I'll watch this again to fully maybe grasp and fully get my thoughts in order, because again, for a first time watch today, it was a little like, what the hell? Like, it's a very much like almost like can't wrap your head around it at points.
Well, you may be like that next week too of Covenant, because it's really weird at spots too. So
Right. Oh. Jeez, my dog scared me there. She's pretty loud at points. I'm gonna give this movie. I'm gonna give it a C for right now. It's a placeholder grade because again, it's fine. I don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it. Like, I would still prefer the first two Alien movies over this, but again, you know what? Honestly, I think it kind of works out in a way, because it's not titled Alien Prometheus. Like, it's called Prometheus. So even though it is a part of this franchise and it's a prequel, it's also trying to do its own thing, which I do actually appreciate. And like what Chris said, it's almost like a breath of fresh air. So I'll give it that.
Well, let me ask you something about this. From your perspective, since you're watching these, you've watched, this is the first time watching all of these, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel like this is at least a good course correction from what they had done?
It was as good as they probably were going to do with the circumstances.
Okay.
Like, because the worst thing they could have done was just do a full-on reboot, which would have been really stupid. So
Okay.
I think like doing like a prequel film like this, I think was probably the best direction you could go in, especially when they tried to do Alien versus Predator and that failed, like, and that blew up in their faces like spectacularly. Like, this was kind of the only real thing you could have done. Like, yeah, you could have brought Ellen Ripley back, but let's call it for what it would have been. It would have been like a cash grab. And again, same problem with Resurrection. It's like, we fucked up, so we got to bring her back. Like, would it have been interesting and cool? Maybe, but again, it would have been kind of came off as like, that's a little desperate. So I think the prequel idea was a good idea, but the studio interference, again, Fox really did not learn their lesson here. And
No.
was it like the greatest thing since sliced bread? No. But as far as what it needed to be, I think this was probably what they needed in terms of the franchise.
Oh. All right.
At least that's the way I would explain it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, makes perfect sense.
So, with that being said, we are about an hour and 40 in. So I think this is about the time to wrap it up. I did do a poll on thoughts on Prometheus. 67% loved the movie and 33% hated it. So
That seems about right.
yeah. Next week we are discussing Alien Covenant. Oh boy, this one's gonna be that one. I think will be very, very interesting. Because my friend Zach really loves Alien Covenant. I have not seen it, so I am very, very curious.
Zach, which Zach?
Gaxiola.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I've seen that. I mean, again, I get it. I don't know. I feel about the same as I do about this movie. There's some points that I'm like, yes, nice, and then I'm like, I don't know what the hell.
The first third is amazing. The second third is kind of slow pace, and it takes a mad scientist route. And there's one line in this movie that you're good. Wow, man, there's a great line from David involving a flute in the next film, and wow, you're going to have a reaction to that. It has a great ending. Not the climax. There's a really tired ass climax to that film, and I'll tell you the reason why it's so tired next week. But the ending to that movie is so damn good, and it set up something that they should have followed up on. And I'm mad about it. I'm as mad as all these Snyder cultists out there about not getting their finish to the Justice League trilogy. Fox dropped the ball. Well, of course they got bought out by Disney like right after that came out, kind of. But yeah, Disney needs to do something here. I don't know. We need more David.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with that being said, I'm going to let everybody go around the panel one more time, let everybody know where they can find themselves at. We'll start with Shifty. Where can they find you at, sir?
Like I said, the Thursday nights, 8:30, Tommy and Getting Big Collective and Vinny Art, Collectible Pass, Toy Show. Sunday nights on Chris's various channels for Jackbox by Night. You find me on YouTube, you find me on X, and you can find me here next week talking Covenant.
Very good, very good. Chris, where can they find you at, sir?
Well, here talking about Alien, been really enjoying these, even the movies that weren't so great. I think discussing movies is just fun. I mean, and some people get on me about my diatribes and hatred of certain movies, or my seeming hatred of certain movies, or my certain like of other movies. It's like it's my opinion, and you have your opinion, and that's what I love doing is talking about our opinions. Nobody's wrong. I don't think you're wrong the way you expressed what you said, Austinator. It's how you feel, and that's okay. And to have confusion sometimes is okay. I like that. I really do appreciate being on these streams with you guys. You can find me here. Sometimes you can find me over on Danny Graham's channel, The Road to Wisdom. Sometimes over on Anzo's channel, Big 40 Entertainment. Of course, we're together first 3 Mondays of every month, which is for the chaotic conversations, chaos list, and then the rule of 3 on Chaos Central. This next Monday, I believe we're going to do a full spoiler review of the Fantastic Four. And it's on my channel, Real Review 3000. And of course, I do the show, the weekly wrap up, which is every Sunday. We do Jackbox games, kind of BS there, have a good time, just relax, decompress, because God damn it, Monday's showing up the next day. And then that's on Honstar YT. We will be getting back to things like Name That Tune and to the Rumble and to Gospel According to Chris, things like that. The rant. I will get into that. I'm in the process of moving, both at work, moving stuff around at work, moving stuff at my house, doing a lot of stuff. So I'm just trying to keep up with the few streams and stuff that I'm doing currently and not expanding into the other stuff yet because I'm just trying to make sure, one, everything's set up properly and that everything is ready to go. So when I am finally fully settled and not so much stuff going on, that I can just say, okay, here we go and get back into it. I don't know about full time, like, the 7 days a week or so that I had been doing it, but I might try to do that again. I had a really good setup on the schedule on how I was doing that. So if I can get back into that, I will do that. But again, really appreciate it, Austinator, Shifty, both of you guys for inviting me onto these things. I do really like to do this, so thank you very much.
Oh,
No
glad to have
problem.
you.
It's always fun.
And I definitely, after Alien Earth wraps up, I think we really need to do one extra episode for Starship Troopers because that's kind of the non-alien aliens film that
I
is like the
quote
closest to alien.
the great wisdom and profound logic of the great Anzo of Biggerford Entertainment when I say trash.
No, it's good. Would you like to know more?
Would you like to know more?
Hmm.
I probably need to go back and rewatch it because I understand it's very meta. The whole thing is meta. It is so deadpan meta, and I think I've only given that movie one full watch through in my life. So I probably need to go back and rewatch it.
It's from the same guy that gave us RoboCop and Total Recall. So
Indeed. You can find me on my channel where every Friday or Saturday, at this point, I think it's Saturday, we're doing these alien roundtables leading up to Alien Earth. We just finished Prometheus.
I don't know if I can do next Saturday. I'll have
No.
to see. Yeah, I'm the one person still watching wrestling, and it's SummerSlam weekend next weekend. But maybe I can skip it.
I'll be honest with you, Shifty. I'm not watching it, so.
Okay, all right. This takes precedent over wrestling.
Yeah, pretty much.
DVR it.
It's
well,
on.
I don't.
So
yes,
I
on
mean,
Peacock. Yeah.
I mean, worst comes to worst, I can move it to Friday.
No. I'll just have it streaming in the background.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I still had my wrestling show, I'd probably cover it, but honestly, I'm probably not missing much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me on my channel where I do these alien reviews. You can find me sometimes when my internet allows it. You can find me on the weekly wrap up on Chris Knight's channel. You can find me on Storm's Nation on Robert Storm's channel. You can find me on the Hangout sometimes on Wednesdays on Guy Scar's channel, Basket Scenario. I'm a little bit everywhere. Everyone's channels are in the description. Yeah, that about wraps it up. So I want to thank everybody for watching. This is the Austinator signing out.
Woohoo!